Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving right into an incredibly eye-opening look at the economics and the real-world health impacts of a massive agricultural shift. We're going to explore how moving away from conventional, chemical-heavy farming isn't just a win for the environment, it is a literal financial and medical breakthrough for rural communities. If you've ever wondered how the way we grow our food actually impacts the farmer's wallet and the human body, you are in the exact right place.
It sounds totally crazy, right? Like a complete paradox. What if the secret to richer farmers and healthier food cost absolutely $0? I mean, in modern agriculture, we are constantly sold this idea that bigger yields require bigger investments. More expensive fertilizers, pricier seeds, more toxic pesticides. But what if we completely flipped that script? What if eliminating those massive expenses is actually the secret to creating true, lasting wealth? Section 1. The cost of chemical farming, the hidden financial burden.
Look, to understand the solution, we really have to grasp the system we're currently using. Right now, over 50% of farmers are trapped in this relentless cycle of debt. And the primary culprit? The sheer cost of external inputs. Modern chemical farming is literally a treadmill. As the soil degrades over time from intense chemical use, farmers are forced to buy larger and far more expensive amounts of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides just to maintain their basic yields. It's a vicious cycle, and it drains their finances before the seeds are even in the ground.
In the physical toll of that financial trap, it is wild to see. You'll have vibrant living crops growing right next to completely barren, degraded earth. Conventional intensive farming has historically led to exactly this kind of land degradation and massive resource consumption. When the soil dies, the farmer's livelihood dies right along with it, which leads straight back into that financial distress we were just talking about.
Section 2. What is natural farming? Breaking the cycle.
So how do we break the cycle? Well, we look to zero-budget natural farming, or ZBNF for short. And the absolute most crucial point here is that zero budget isn't just some catchy marketing slogan. It literally means zero spending on external chemical inputs. You don't buy synthetic fertilizers. You don't buy commercial pesticides. Instead, the whole system relies entirely on natural processes, biological inoculants, and working in total harmony with the local ecosystem. Let's walk through exactly how this works on the ground, because these core principles completely replace the chemical model. First off, absolutely no external synthetic inputs. None. Second, you maintain a living crop cover 365 days a year to keep that soil moist and active. They use microbial seed treatments to protect crops naturally. They use mixed cropping to boost biodiversity, which naturally confuses pests. And perhaps the coolest part, they integrate livestock, using local cow dung and urine to create incredibly potent homemade biological fertilizers. They're just using what they already have.
But to really appreciate how incredible this is, we have to zoom way in. Down at the microscopic level, you actually have fungal hyphae, bacteria, and root exudates physically gluing soil particles together. By using natural biological inoculants instead of harsh chemicals, farmers are cultivating a rich, living microbiome. This natural architecture makes the soil super porous, improves water retention, and unlocks nutrients for the plants without a single drop of store-bought synthetic fertilizer.
Section 3. Slashing costly chemical inputs. A financial game changer.
Let's shift to the immediate, measurable economic impact, because this is huge. 44%. Independent research shows that farmers experience an average 44% reduction in their input costs. This massive chunk of savings comes entirely from simply eliminating the need to buy commercial chemicals. Think about any business suddenly cutting its overhead by almost half. That is an absolute game changer.
To put that percentage into real, tangible dollars, studies have found that natural farming approaches can save farmers up to $2,000 per season. In regions where agriculture is the primary source of survival, a $2,000 savings isn't just a nice little bonus, it is life-changing money. It's the difference between sending a kid to school or not. It is the exact mechanism that rescues rural farming families from that crushing debt spiral we saw earlier.
Section 4. Surging farmer net incomes, profits, and crop yields.
But hey, cutting costs is only half the battle, right? You still need a product to sell at the end of the day. When scientists evaluated this, they didn't see a drop in food production. In fact, yields of prime crops actually increased by an average of 11%. So you've got an 11% boost in yield, combined with that 44% drop in input costs, and it results in a massive 49% average increase in net income for the farmer. Add in the fact that this uses 50 to 60% less water, and you've got yourself an incredibly efficient, highly profitable farming model.
And this method builds serious long-term security, literally protecting those profits from disaster. Just think back to the devastating Mekong cyclone in late 2023. The contrast in the fields was unbelievable. Conventional, chemically farmed plots were completely flattened, harvests completely ruined. But the naturally farmed plots, right beside them, still standing tall. Because natural farming develops deeper root systems and way stronger soil structures, it provides dramatic resilience against extreme weather shocks.
And it's not just the weather either. Pests are a huge issue. When measuring the percentage of damage to chili crops from a major pest infestation, chemical farms suffered a massive 57% damage rate. Natural farms, less than 10% damage. Because natural farming improves overall soil health, the plants actually have higher sugar content and natural immunity. That completely safeguards the farmer's yields without ever needing to spray toxic chemicals.
Section 5. Better health, lower medical bills, the physical toll.
Which brings us to a massively under-discussed part of this transition, the physical health of the farmers themselves. The contrast couldn't be starker. On one hand, chemical farming brings constant toxic pesticide exposure, which leads to skin irritation, respiratory issues, and poisoning. That means lost working days and really expensive medical bills. On the other hand, natural farming creates a totally toxin-free environment. Plus, because they practice mixed cropping, the families actually have greater dietary diversity, meaning they're eating a wider variety of nutritious, safe food right from their own backyard.
And the data backs this up beautifully. Research shows that farmers practicing natural methods lost 1/3 fewer working days to illness compared to conventional farmers. Healthier farmers mean more productive days in the field, much more stable livelihoods, and honestly just a significantly better quality of life. The main takeaway here, agricultural health is human health.
And here is the financial gut punch of that health divide. Health cost analyses reveal a shocking statistic. Villages relying on chemically intensive farming suffer health and medical costs that are 26% higher than natural farming clusters in the exact same region. That means the chemical farmer isn't just paying more for fertilizer, they are paying significantly more to the doctor because of that fertilizer.
Section 6. The True Cost Accounting. Holistic Success Metrics.
So how do we actually measure the real success of agriculture? We have to use what's called true cost accounting. When we zoom out and look at the whole picture, the benefits are just undeniable. Natural farming completely avoids those hidden health expenses we just talked about. It heavily reduces the massive public tax subsidies currently spent on chemical fertilizers. It prevents those tragic farmer debt spirals, and it improves the general public's access to highly nutritious, chemical-free food. The holistic return on investment for natural farming isn't just positive, it is staggeringly transformative for society.
I want to leave you with this final thought. If true wealth is really measured in human health, debt-free livelihoods, and an ecosystem in balance, is it time we rethink the real price of our food? The evidence is pretty clear. The most expensive things we put into our soil are costing us so much more than just money. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the system and keep learning.